Hello, everyone. How are you feeling? There is no hard topic today, but I just want to know that your availability is at your highest because the thing that I'm going to talk about, it's not difficult to hear, but it will be a little bit hard to comprehend because I myself don't know how to deliver this information. But because yesterday we talked about rising higher, and we are in our journey to a better place. I have been thinking like who I was before all of this nonsense, all of this journey that I started when I was 8. Like who is that person? Who is that person? Can I remember her? Because that person is a lot more free, a lot more peaceful. Not peaceful, maybe peaceful can be questionable. She is more abundant than who I am. And I'm like, who is who was that person? Like, can I like tap into that version of myself more than this version that I live currently? It is not wise to go back in the past and start rekindling the parts that we have lost. But this is the only beneficial way to reconnect with ourselves because we have done it. We know how to do that. That's the only thing why I want to deliver this information right now because when you have done something, it's a lot easier to process. It's a lot easier to create, even though it's not as updated as the version that you have right now. But it is something that can be modified if you can think of it like that. Because the version of who you were is not the version that you are striving for, because that version doesn't have the capacity, the mentality, the complexity, all the good things that you have done so far. That person can't contain this. But what that person can is actually the emotion itself, how it feels in your body, how you carry yourself in your time. That version is really great at that because they've done it in the way that they can, but they are still not you, the current you. So you still need to update that version. And when I do this myself, I get to a place of ease, of expanded expansion. And I can feel like in my body. Like I move a lot easier. I think a lot clearer. I speak in such a certain language full of conviction and all that stuff. There are embodiment that you can get from remembering who you were. That is not the version that you want to go for. So the conviction, the belief, the how is something that you need to be updated along the way. But remembering that essence, that feeling, that embodiment is really powerful because then you, of course, you get to think like I've done that and I can do it now. But also like this is how it feels. And sometimes people don't know that. And if you have some powerful old version, that is a really powerful tool because sometimes people don't have it. Like if someone out there were born without parents, so they are orphans to begin with, and they don't have that belonging, that love, that someone to depend on. They don't have that basic. And if you are born with a parents or your full family with you, you have the upside of I know how it feels to have a family, even though at some point the family broke down and I left with this scar in my heart, but I do know how it feels. Sometimes I have those moments where I can see my parents laughing, we are chatting together. There are moments that I can celebrate, I can remember, I can rekindle. It's really awesome. And some other people out there need to replicate those memories in their current reality because they don't have it. And I have the two version of that because I don't know how to connect with other people, but I also have the conviction that I know what I'm capable of. So in my 20 years of journey, 20 years journey of the darkness, I have what I call forgetting the abundance, but I gain that reconnection with humanity, that I ground myself, and eventually I broke out of my shell and essentially coming back up. And this is my time to coming back up. And I remember that version of me who doesn't need to learn what is abundance. And I feel the ease, the conviction, the identity of unwilling to bow down to anything else because I know how it feels. But now, since we remember that part, the old version doesn't have this connection with humanity. Then, and I have a really messed up time to mix the two because it's very different. When you are understand that you are abundance, that you can do anything in this life, you are on your own. But when you are connecting with the humanity, it's like you are among the many. So that feeling is very different, but also like have the similarities around it. Like, for instance, love is undeniable. I can feel the friendship, I can feel the spark when I'm with other people. And when I'm with myself, I have that certainty conviction that I translate into love for myself because I can see the two flowing in such a similar way, even though they are in a different path, in a different height, frequency, vibration, in my experience. And I get to see that, yeah, that's practically the same. So there are things that we can look at the similarities, but also like there are differences that we cannot mix. And I have talked about this before, is that sometimes things doesn't need to be mixed. They just need to stand on their own. And I get to separate the two with such a conviction because I have the experience now. So that's also really wonderful. So if you can remember your abundant version of yourself, if there was the version of you who are without the pain that you're having right now, how is it feels in your body? If you can remember that and then use that remembrance in your integration with yourself right now, it will be wonderful. I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comment if it's really helping, if it's really helpful, and I will see you next tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow.